All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's Marketcast call. Hope everyone enjoyed their weekend and looking forward to a little bit of a Thanksgiving break this weekend. And real quick, if everybody wouldn't mind, just chiming in, let me know everything's working. Can see everything. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Futures are up again. So it's starting to look less and less. I guess you could say it's starting to look more and more like we are at least going to test these highs, but the concern over the 80 line and momentum doesn't look like the market cares. Now, we'll see, but we're up 0.75% here. So by that mark, S&P is going to be, if that holds to the open, S&P is going to be testing that high again. So we'll see, and then we'll reevaluate. Um, does the 80 line, diverge further? Does momentum diverge further? But all in all, coming into this week, expectations were to move higher. I mean, you have to kind of look. It's what it looks like we're doing. Pretty simple stuff. Close on a positive note. 6,000's right there. Everything points towards moving higher, and so far so good in the pre-market, right? So far so good. And again, pretty straightforward. You can see how the S&P just kind of refused to break below that old high. And you can see back here, it did very similar, but reversed right back up. So hey, that's the market we got, right? Up, 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 and away. All right, let's see what else we're looking at here. I think we're taking a look at gold. Nice rebound from that sell-off. But if you look at today, not the most thrilling look in the world, and certainly paints a picture of lower prices to come for gold. I would be surprised if you saw gold all the way back here, just based on chart we're looking at here. So it wouldn't be too terribly surprising. It's been a pretty good run since the old breakout back here. If you kind of pan out a little bit, it's been a heck of a run, right? Finally made through this big time breakout, and up and away we went, right? 2100 area, clear up 28. So it goes back pretty far. Heck, wouldn't be surprised if we came back here. But again, coming here would not be the biggest shocker in the world, right? When you kind of look at it, pan out, kind of look at it broader view. But real nice turnaround last week, though. I mean, that was pretty nice. And let's go back over here. Oil still hasn't broken down that 67-ish area. So we'll see if that materializes. It certainly looked like it was planning on it. And kind of moving a little bit with gold, So having a little bit of a down here. But I wouldn't get too worked up over it yet. But I'll be watching that breakdown. And all right, so we got those. I want to take a look here. Wrap. Okay, not a whole lot there. All right, so let's go around the horn here and look. Obviously, last week, Google taking a heck of a hit on that news back on Thursday. It's a pretty nasty one. If you notice, one of the things that you know, um, I subscribe to. A lot of times, you come in learning from some other trader or some other, you know, analyst of some kind that focuses on this moving average or that moving average or whatnot. And my view on that is always, well, first off, make sure whatever moving average that you might be monitoring or that you're going to keep in your toolbox, make sure it fits the scale, right? If you're an investor, if you're looking for longer term trades, I don't know that you care too much about, the 5 day moving average. Um, and you could say, vice versa as well. If you're a very, very short term trader, I don't know you necessarily care about the 200 week, so you want to make sure that you're looking at the appropriate scale for your trading. But my view on that has always been that, well, I don't, I am not going to worry about a particular moving average acting as a support or resistance for a security if that security never shows a tendency to care. In other words, why would I make a trade based on a stock coming down to its 30-day moving average if I look back on that stock the last year to whatever any other time it's came to that moving average, it never cared, right? It just went right through it. So why in the world? Okay. It's no different than when we look at price. I mean, we're looking at prices that seem to matter. We're looking at for prices that stocks, market, whatever, might react to, right? So the reason why I might be focusing on the 102 level on some stock is because the stock has said, hey, this 102 matters, right? So like this morning for my mentoring program when we were doing this one with Freshworks, okay, we're highlighting this 17 because the stock has told me it matters. So I might make a trade based on this 17. I'm not going to make a trade based on 16 because it doesn't seem like the stock really has ever cared. Okay. So no different when we talk about any moving average or such. So my view is always, hey, if the stock tells me it matters, well, the point I'm getting to is if you follow right here, a little harder to see because I keep it kind of faint. Okay, we can kind of see this dotted line here is the 200-day moving average. Now I want you to follow Google over the last 2 months, exactly on it, in the last 2 days, exactly on it, right? So it seems clear. Okay, there's no price that seems to matter in here, right? It's a big juicy mess. Okay, maybe 165 here and there. Okay, so maybe, but what do you think's more realistic when you take the weight of the evidence, right? So it looks somewhat clear that Google is trying to hold its 200-day. Now, didn't really care that much in the past, right? Just went kind of right through it, right above it. Okay, here, just went right through it, back above it. Didn't seem to care, but right now it is. So what this would tell me is, one, I could make a play right here if I wanted to try to, catch some sort of a potential rebound. Could make a play here, and I know where my stop should be set. Apparently, below the 200-day moving average. Flip side, if I'm looking to get short, I don't know if I'd want to get short right here. Okay, I'd probably, want it to break, right? If we keep holding it, why would I want to get short so that it can bounce on my face? So this would be an opportunity to buy puts or whatever bearish play you want on the breakdown. So that's Google. And let's go back. I was a little surprised. Amazon here. A little surprised they gave that 200 back. So if somebody's looking to go long, you could take a look at the 195 if it gets there. I think ultimately I'd like to see it regain 200. especially since the market actually moved higher the last 2 or 3 days of last week, right? It's been coming off its low. Little surprised to see Amazon moving lower and lower. I might have thought the market moving higher and the stock coming back to 200 would been a great opportunity to resume our rally, but we're not doing that. So I would probably, again, you could take a shot at the 195, that old level there, right through here, right? Resistance a couple times, resistance on here, and then support when we were above it, right? So this 195, we could, but I'd probably rather wait. Tesla keep doing what Tesla is doing, right? So we're gonna go higher. I don't know. I think Friday's move wasn't too terribly surprising. You kind of had this little pennant kind of forming, implying a higher move from here. Pan out here. I mean, just looks like up. It's not a whole lot to be analyzed up there up top. Just looks pretty volatile. Looks like it could be anything, right? So, just looks like this high here. So you could go 360. I don't know. Looks like 385 is the high, right? Keep going up in these little $20 type blocks around 360, around 380, around 400. Obviously, this was all before the split, but so really just looks like up we go. Leaf blowers are annoying. MDB getting a great pop last week. That thing was kind of a wild little ride. So this thing's moving. So kind of like this just because of the volatility of it. We like things moving around. At least I do. So um, tends to be a little bit easier for us to wait till later in the week. 332.50. So there's your at the money. $6-7 area. Yeah. All right. Who else? Let's come down the list here. Home Depot obviously was looking pretty nice at the end of last week. Seems like maybe this 420, but that just looks like something's on the move. So get out of that one's way. Let's see here. Yeah, so things notching that. I mean, that thing breaks. I mean, you can go anywhere. Back here. Could be on verge of a major breakout here. Oh, yeah. Like they say, price has a memory, right? Stocks have a memory. That'd be one heck of a break. Seemingly. So it means no telling where that thing will go. My old trend line there. Get out of the way. So yeah. Anybody looking for a longer term quote investment or longer term play, this would seem to make some sense. It takes out 420, and if you look at the pre-market, it certainly looks like it's going to do it. At least it's going to think about it. So, do you have a target for D-Dog? I know that thing. Anybody in Paragon? Curious for Paragon members. Who notched the biggest gains on that thing? But yeah, we can pull it back up here and take a look. So for those of you that aren't at Paragon, this is where it closed on Thursday. So knowing that it was on the move, we decided to throw a little 140, 145 strangle on it. And I guess you could say it worked out. But no, I wouldn't have any real target here. We can look back. You're just kind of in the nosebleeds, but we can see if anything's up there. I mean, you've got, again, pretty volatile back in this stretch. So, I mean, the 160 area kind of shows up here a little bit. Definitely when you look up here. But I think when you get in something like this, it's kind of hard to really focus too much on any targets. It's just off we go. Market's, looking really good here. I'm going to keep an eye on Home Depot. They can do it. You can help. Well, we had a good time with MSTR last week. Quite the little party. All right. Who else? Carvana's one we want to watch because I remember it was testing that 260 again. And you can see it's going to pop above it. So everybody's kind of on the move here. So this 260, Home Depot on the 420. Like a lot of noteworthy breakouts coming here. App really turned around. I don't know if there's any reason not to expect higher with this one. But this one's a little harder for us. It's obviously pricey. But certainly looks like it's ready to go as well. All right, who else we got here? MSTR. I find funny when why is it that bulls on a certain stock get their panties in a ruffle when you call something a bubble when it obviously is? You're telling me that you're looking at this, oh, it's not a bubble. It doesn't necessarily mean the stock's not going higher overall in the future. It doesn't mean Bitcoin's not going higher. But you're going to tell me you're going to look at this and you're going to look at this and you're going to look at this. And let's not forget, we haven't even went back to this. And you're going to tell me that's not a bubble. What kind of clown show are you? You're telling me this. You don't think that's just, you know. And I don't even have to look at other stocks. What happened the last two times? Three, if you count this one. This was more of a consolidation. But of course, it's a bubble. Doesn't mean we know when it's going to pop or anything. But of course it is. That's like the idiots that were acting like the work at home stocks weren't bubbles. What are you talking about? I assume some sort of vested interest of some kind. Of course it's going to pop. Doesn't I can't tell you that popped already. That certainly was a gross day on Thursday, and we happened to profit from it. But I think he's having two different conversations. Stocks get overheated, man. When they go straight up in the air, show me one time in history they didn't pop. Right? So of course it's a bubble. It'll pop if it hasn't already, by the way. And what happens after that? Anybody's game. Why do you guys get so worked up about it? What we got down here? Was it? No, it wasn't Microsoft. Something else. I'm not really a big fan. All right, we looked at Tesla. It's got a nice pop on Friday. This becomes very interesting if it ever gets back up here and breaks above. Okay, let's go down to the bottom here. Lulu put in a pretty bearish looking day on Friday. So if you told me this was back down at 300 by the end of the week, if you're looking for a bearish play, this might make some sense. Again, clearly the markets are not planning on moving lower yet. So I don't know that I go running around and ringing that bearish bell, but if you're looking for one, our buddy Crowd finally took out 360. So that's good. And it's going to move higher. So I could see running into some resistance in this 380 area. But ultimately, I would assume this is running towards its high, I would think. It's another one that's a little harder for us to do anything with. And what? Oh, wait a minute, what? Got the wrong ones here. Yeah. A little pricey for us to do. Just a little bit works a little better for us later in the week. Oh, there you go. Well, that explains it. I thought those prices were high. All right, so we got Crowd earnings. Let me look back at that there. Are you referring to here? Like this area over here, Alan? I don't know that I would say it is or isn't, but the good news is it doesn't really matter, right? It's like that with a lot of quote patterns. All a head and shoulders is right is a support. All an inverse is a resistance. So the good news is we don't have to figure that out or anything. But let's see. Yeah, I wouldn't really look at this as a inverse or anything. I see where you're coming from, but it's a little sloppy for my taste. But the good news is again, hey, take out 420 doesn't matter, which is certainly again looks like it's going to start the day doing that for sure. What else we got here? So Crowd and ZM earnings. You know what? I haven't looked at ZM in forever. Wow. Look at that move. We used to trade that all the time. All right. So, like I said, some of the ones look pretty good. Breakouts and breakdowns. I mean, this looks like we're going to give it a whirl to break out. Obviously, CrowdStrike already did. And Lulu looks a little bearish there, but bearish meaning just for like a pullback, not. What else do we look at? Sierra, no. What was I talking about a minute ago? Google's got a pretty good breakdown with that 200, so follow that. That could be a play as well. We did our Home Depot already. Carvana, that was the one. So we got a few to watch. Some breakouts, potential breakouts, I guess. MCI recovered a little bit last week. Now this mark here is a pretty important level. I remember this. This was the one that led to the whole run to begin with. Keep in mind, pre-split, but right back here. So you're getting back up there. Again, of course it's a bubble. I remember having this conversation on the calls. Yeah, of course it's a bubble. It's going to pop. And what happens when bubbles pop? Almost all the time. They retrace it all. We called this before any news about any accounting or anything, before it ever happened, because it happens every time, every single time. maybe not giving back all of it, but I mean, it pops and you give back either a significant chunk, all of it, or in a lot of cases, all of it and then some. So anybody yapping that somehow, oh, I'm trying to make, no, you pull up any chart and you see that. Now, what to do with that information is a little harder, right? Because we talked about MSTR last week. And of course, the knee jerk is like, well, should we buy puts going way out? The problem is this is a very expensive stock to go way out on, going out several months. But let's be clear, just because we know it's going to pop doesn't mean we have any idea when. We've seen some crazy stuff, right? Between meme stocks and remember the go around with Bitcoin a while back. What about Dash? I haven't looked at Dash. Yeah, John, that 360 is what we're, whoops. I'm sorry, 260. That's the one we're waiting for. And again, just like Home Depot, certainly looks like we're going to open up above it. Question is, do we hold it? Yeah, let's look at Dash here. Dash looks great. I like that close. That's a nice move. Curious to see what these premiums look like after they open, but yeah, I don't like that one. I swear, these guys are getting closer and closer and closer. All right, yeah. So all signs pointed towards up to come into the week. Looked like beginning of last week and the week before, looked like we were getting ready to break down. We saw some signs pop in there, but hey, I guess that's just the market we're in, right? It's hard to pretty annoying. How big is that yard, man? Um, we know when we're in good bull moves, bearish things will fail more often. Not going to ignore them or anything, and some bearish signals and signs are more important than others. But at the end of the day, we know that when we're in a strong bear move, bullish things are going to fail more often. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised. But we'll see. See if you hold this move. Like I said, it's looking pretty good. Let's check it one more time. Getting close to, looks like a 1 point up 1%. But all right, so last call for those that want to attend Wednesday's webinar here. I'm going to put the link for you right down there. Does everybody see it? Once a month, we take in a couple new students or members into my mentoring and coaching program. So if you want to hear about it, that'll be Wednesday at 1. We'll do a little bit more of this, looking at the markets, looking at stocks, breaking down some of the trades we've put on recently to give everybody a better idea of my philosophy and what I look at. Mentoring program, there's nothing will be sold on the call or anything like that. I'm not really much of a car salesman or anything, but I will invite you to take a look at the members area so you can see everything towards the second half of the call. It's pretty unique in what it offers. Keep in mind, I've been coaching for 17 years. So when I created the lifetime trading system, I called on 17 years of coaching thousands and thousands of students, over 5,000 in one-on-one settings, tens of thousands in group settings like this, and tried to make the perfect all-encompassing mentoring program. So it has your education, it has the mentoring calls, obviously the coaching calls, but it also has trade ideas, at least one every single day, not counting the ones that are on the calls. So every morning you wake up to a new trade idea like the ones I'm showing you here. It actually comes with its own private trade alert service so that you can make money right away just by putting the trades that I put on. And then, of course, all the support you're going to need, right? So from me, no sub coaches, no assistants, nothing like that. Right. So, and it's lifetime. It's probably the most unique part about it. Once you decide to hop on board, that's it. I'll work with you as little or as often as you need for as long as you need. All right. So if you want to hear more about it, tune in on Wednesday. Like I said, pretty laid back. It's just me I won't be selling anything. Just show it, talk to you, answer questions about me, answer questions about the market, answer questions about the mentoring program. If it's interesting to you, cool. You can hop on the phone with one of the guys and have a chat. Otherwise, everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll be back next Monday to do it again. All right. Have a good one.